Thank you. You must be bummed. That's all. I'm happy to be here. I really like the new lace light fixtures. Lace light fixtures in a barn. Hey. Anybody have a... My sister? What sister? Oh, she's working. She can't come. What was her name? Does anybody remember this? When? What was the actress's name?
Kathleen Wilhoit.
Kathleen Wilhoit. Yeah, she's busy. Anybody have a question for me? Jared, put the fucking mic down.
I wasn't sure if it was my mic that was doing that or yours, but I just...
My mic was doing it because of yours.
I'm sorry. Over here, I think it's a bit better. I just wanted to mention one thing about James as well. Tomorrow at the picnic, we're going to have a big card for him to sign, similar to the one that you saw for Jen Lynch, I think in the O2 festival thing that John Neff did. So we're going to have a big card for everyone to sign, get well. That'll be tomorrow. And yeah, questions? Any questions? Oops, I just shut that off. If anyone has any questions, I can walk around and find them. Always.
This question is for Kimmy. This question is for Kimmy. Kim, I know over the years you've done several voiceovers for the Batman animated TV show. I'm thinking maybe for the next Batman live action movie, you should be in it as like maybe Harley Quinn or some crazy villainess.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Yeah. Would you be up for that?
I don't think so. I'm busy getting the rough.
That's the way to get the jobs.
Hurry. If anyone has a question, you can just raise your hand as well. But, oh, here's one. Over here.
Okay. This is for Kimmy. This is my first time, and it's just an honor to see all of you here. And I'm very happy that I made it. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, 3,000 miles away. But anyway, this is something I've always wondered. It's about the series. In your own mind, when you were playing Lucy, did you think the baby was Richard's, or did you think it was Andy's?
You know what question I would be curious
I
about?
drank quite a bit, and he didn't tell me that Piper was going to come in and be with her wiles, get Richard away, and from me. But one interesting thing is that I had written, I called my son and I said, guess what, I met David Lynch. And he said, he was in New York, and he says, oh, guess what, I met David Lynch. And I said, David Lynch, the director? He says, no, the artist. And he had been in New York and met David and Isabella Rossellini, and they were, it was the Elephant Man, the paintings were on sort of things like elephant skin. And he had been in the gallery and had been introduced to the two of them. And so that was within 3 or 4 days of one another. Both of us had met him on the other side of the coast, so I thought that was interesting. So.
I knew David socially. I'd seen him a couple of times at a very small dinner party at a close friend's home. And then I saw him again somewhere else. And then suddenly I heard that he wanted to meet with me about this, about doing the pilot for Twin Peaks. And so I went to the office, and I sat next to a very beautiful Asian girl who looked very nervous. And I saw a lot of young men walking in and out of offices, and they all had blonde hair that was piled way up high. God, that's very strange. They're all looking like David. I never really figured that out. And then I was called into the office, and I was introduced to Mark Cross. And I never did sit down. It was a very tiny office, and I stood against the wall, or leaned against the wall, and they both looked terrifically happy to see me, and he said, I'd like you to be in the show, and I said, great, and 5 minutes later I was out of the office, and I really didn't know what was in store for me. I had very little to do in the pilot, and frankly, most of these things don't go anywhere, and I signed the contract that said I'd be in the series, not thinking it would ever happen. And to my surprise, I was really thrilled with a lot of the stuff that they wrote for me.
Well, I'm not an actor on this series, although I've done some stuff when I was younger, and I actually was asked by an old college buddy if I would consider working for an executive producer on a soon-to-be local series with David Lynch. I was not familiar with David's work other than Elephant Man. And I became an assistant to Mark Frost. And the gentleman who arranged it was Tony Krantz, with whom I went to college at UC Berkeley. I know Tony, who is also the son of Judith Krantz, the author, and Stephen Krantz, the producer. And I found myself helping to do research with Mark and David at Mark's house for quite a while. And I kind of got a sense, although David's very charming and very easy to talk with in his country voice style, that I would get these funny research questions like, can you find out if caskets lined with lead leak? And Mark would ask me for input. So I came up with a lot of different lines that became part of the show, or background for some of the characters like Josie, etc. And that's one thing that I appreciated, is that if I came up with an idea, like a lot of the merchandising ideas, most of which never came to me, etc., it just happened. It was a mom and pop type of production company that we started. I was so glad to be able to interact with these wonderful cast members, and we had like the best crew. They worked so hard. And because it was such a small production, and there was so much to be done, basically anything that needed to be done, a lot of it I just kind of undertook. So that's why I started taking some of the photographs and art directing a lot of the photographs you've seen, help getting a lot of like the photos for the albums, etc. together. It just was marvelous, putting together some of the viewing parties, a lot of the parties, cakes, just whatever needed to be done, we got done. But I've never seen such a hard-working cast and crew just give their all. And I know that David really drew a lot of that out. But because it was so popular, they needed someone to handle publicity, and because I knew the cast and crew, the storylines, the development of what was going on, I was able to handle that, and am honored to have been a part of it. So that's how I became a part of this. And I have to also add, Charlotte and Piper have known my brother Derek very well, and I was so glad. My brother was helping out with the show with craft service and other areas, but became an assistant to Piper and actually was able to act as Piper, as Julio Yamaguchi, as Tojiwara's assistant.
Oh, yeah.
So he sends his greetings as well. But thank you all again. This is really wonderful.
Well, I didn't really do anything to get the show. All I did was go to a bar named the T Dana, and Dana said, just before he started drinking his Mai Tai, maybe it was a zombie, again. You know what I wish? It was between Christmas and New Year's, 1988. I wish I would get a series. Yep, I want to get a series. It's time. And I said, yeah, me too. I want to get a series too. Only, not just any series. I want to get a series that will change television forever. And then we clinked, and then we drank. And the tiki tea is about as big as, it's like 9 by 10. And it has shrunken heads everywhere, and skulls and blowfish, and tropical drinking people from Silver Lake. And then, January, we were doing the pilot, and then a magazine came out called Connoisseur Magazine, and it said Twin Peaks, the series that will change TV forever. So that's my story, which some of you, 25 of you, have heard 10,000 times. But that's okay, because you are the sensitive, innocent, sweet, naive. You deserve a gentle, sweet hug. Gentle hug from David. Isn't that what Catherine said?
Yeah,
Did I meet
that's
David?
close.
Oh, okay. I went to, I met David at an appointment where I was auditioning for the role of